Hello, I'm SteelZenith, and today I'm going to be taking a look at some Platoon play. All three of us are in IS-3s. I consider the IS-3 marginally overpowered, or maybe just extremely powerful for its tier, and it makes a good tank to platoon in. It's pretty versatile, it's got the speed to get back if you need to, and you can pretty much dictate the run of play, especially in tier 8 games. Other than that, you could take two frontline tanks and a support tank. I wouldn't recommend taking more than one support tank in a platoon, however, as it inhibits the capacity of your platoon to dictate the play of the game. Certainly, if you have multiple support tanks, it's very hard to have a strong influence on how the game goes. Anyway, with that said, I'm going to switch to some gameplay now, and I hope you enjoy it. So, this is the first match. It's going to be on Redshire. Just going to speed up the beginning a bit. I'm platoon with AB-23 and Jack Sparrows. This is from a few weeks back when I was still a member of Fallout. And as you can see, there's only 5 tier 8s per team, so we should be able to take out or at least severely damage any tanks we come across in one volley. I'll slow this down once the action begins, but as you can see, most of the tanks on our team are defending on the other flanks, so we're free to push up here. Now first thing we spot is an IS-3. I bounce off him, but I've said to my teammates that I'm firing at these guys, so we're gonna set up a bit of a firing line up here and take what shots we can at these IS-3s. As you can see, 3 shots and he's already down to 300 health, and the SU-100Y takes him out. The other IS-3 is playing it safe and sticking to cover, so we need to keep the momentum going, and we decide to head on. I'm going to be a bit behind the other two because I stopped lower down the hill. Just moving on, we encounter a couple of their tier 7s and tier 6s, and the IS-3 is really capable of taking these things out with ease, as well as bouncing shots, as you heard just there. Now, I don't want to go up onto the ridge because I will have to expose myself a lot. I want to be over on this left side so that I can use my turret, hopefully bounce a few shots. Pulling back just a second to avoid any further fire from the few tanks that will be behind these guys, and then moving on. As you can see, we're generally sticking in quite a tight formation. ISU takes out that IS-3, so our flank is safe. Now, my platoon mate gets tracked. I don't know where that shot exactly came from, but I'm moving in front of him so that I might take the next shot, and if I'm not spotted, it's quite possible I'll bounce whatever was aimed at him. So just keeping to this low bit to get as far as possible into the enemy's lines before getting spotted. T-28 Prot takes a shot at me from the right. Presumably I was spotted by the SU-100. We take him out very quickly. You can see in this game, we're all focusing fire at the same targets. Yes, here in this case, it's very easy. There's only one target available. But even when there were multiple targets, we focus fire to take out one target and then the next. This is extremely effective, and you should do it in platoons all the time if you can. Either if you've got voice comms, decide on the target over voice comms, or target it using the T key, which was the default. I'm not sure whether it still is. That's what I've got mine set as. And you can see Jack's taking a slightly wider route, and me and AB are pushing up onto the hill. This isn't necessarily a bad thing in the platoon. You can still support each other as long as you're in close proximity, but given that they've only got 7 tanks left, we're spreading out a bit to find them. This game's pretty much wrapped up, so I'm just gonna speed it up slightly to avoid it being too boring for you guys. T-3485 is an easy victim for the IS-3. You can't pen the front armor. And there's just that lower left. Now, we deliberately hold our shots and don't try and take them so that AB can get the 3rd kill, so that we get brothers in arms. And that's the end of the first game. See you in the second. Our second game is on Abbey, and as you can see, still the same platoon. This is in fact the game after the first one you saw. Now, on Abbey with this kind of platoon, there's only 2 places you can really go. One is the cliffside path along the 8 line, but I don't really recommend that. It's very cut off from the rest of the map, and if you need to get back to base, it can be quite tricky pushing into the base from that side. So instead, as AB pinged, we're going to head to the 1 line, push up there. I'll just speed up a bit while we get on the way here. As you can see, there's a lot of our tanks heading this way, and to be honest, if you see a platoon like this, I wouldn't recommend pushing too many tanks along where they are, because a platoon like this is going to dominate whatever it finds unless there's superior numbers, and even then. So you can see, like, they've sent 1 IS-3 along here, and then we see the rest of them. There's 3 IS-3s here, which, and an Indian Panzer. Should be a good fight for us. And the first IS-3 gets tracked in the open. Now, rather than pushing forward into the rest of them, this guy's exposed, we take him out first. And now, we form up into a gun line on this corner. Maybe not the tidiest. It does the job. So basically, this means that if one of the guys on the outside get damaged, I can push forward and take a shot for them. Obviously misses their shot on us, which was a great chance for the RC to do a lot of damage. Could have easily splashed 1 or 2 of us. And this IS-3, by backing off, is basically exposing himself. He doesn't realize it, maybe, but by backing off, he turned himself into our primary target. He isolated himself. Again, we're on high health, but that's no reason to take unnecessary damage, although eventually I think Jack just decided that he was going to get that kill and push forward. Now at this point, for some reason, I decide to head up onto the top line, and Jack sticks to the bottom with AB slightly in the background. The Comet gets spotted at our base. Now, I think what I was thinking here was that I could flank these tank destroyers rather than heading straight into them. And as you can see, I put a nice shot into the gun carrier. Now AB, for some reason, decides to head back to base for one comment. Not quite sure what he thought he was doing there. And I'm just gonna try and spot things from this ledge for a bit, and then move down, since there's nothing aimed this way, and no targets, effectively. So I'm on 1,500 health still, and I know Jack's on pretty low health, so I'm gonna play this pretty aggressively here. I can take the shots. AB's meanwhile realized that there's nothing really to do at base. Now just because I'm taking the shots doesn't mean I need to take damage. I can just make them shoot at my turret, and meanwhile I just push forward into this tiger to block him from shooting Jack again. You see that 110's on. Got a stock turret, even though he's full health, but shouldn't be too much harm. I just don't want to get penetrated too many times by him. As long as I end up facing him, I should be fairly safe. 175 pen on the first gun, but I don't want to leave an arty alive on my flank, so I take him out. And luckily for me, the 110 bounced on my side. I could afford to take 1 or 2 hits at the moment, and there's only 3 tanks left, so I'm not too concerned about preserving health. But to stop him from taking shots at anything else, I get into his face, and then notice this little observation hatch on the front of it, and shoot him there, taking him out. As you can see, again, Jack's missing 1 kill to get us brothers in arms, so we're gonna try and get that kill for him. Now while I do load premium ammo in this tank, it's more because of the tier 10 games you get into. At this tier it really isn't necessary. And as you can see, even though I could kill this 88, I'm withholding my shots so that Jack can get the kill. And then there's just a Churchill gun carrier left to take out. Who turns out is trying to escape, but the T-44 takes him down. So I hope that this video showed you how effective it can be when you play well together as a platoon, especially in tanks like the IS-3. I admit that the IS-3 is very powerful at its own tier, and getting these kind of results in a platoon of IS-3s is not exactly rare. However, I still think that this showcases some good focus fire and good platoon play. Anyway, thanks for watching. Again, I'm SteelZenith. Goodbye.